Hi, my name is Tracy Cornelius and I'd like to welcome you to Homemade, Grown and Sewn. In this particular video we're going to be making little lavender sachets and little rose sachets. Making things and making presents is one of my favourite things to do. Even as a paper crafter I would often make cards that were more like presents than just cards in themselves. And this project is not only getting me to find out more about this new passion of sewing, but also incorporating one of my other passions, which is rubber stamping. So one of the first things that we've got here is this particular almost sheer material, which is really nice. And it's perfect because it means that you can actually smell the scent of the lavender and the rose that we've put inside these little sachets. And the other thing is, it really doesn't need a lot of measuring because luckily there are all these little lines and little knots that can help us to be able to work out what size we want without even measuring anything, which to me is fantastic. So what I've done here is I've gone ahead and I've cut the fabric, but I've also made sure that not only will it fold over, I've got enough seam allowance, but I'll be able to stamp my stamp in between as well. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually ink up the stamp in itself and stamp out the image. Now, as I've done on these, I want to be able to make sure that I've got the stem and the leaves in green and yet the lavender in purple. So I'm going to use distress inks for this because I love the colours of them. And I'm just going to ink up the stamp and make sure that I only ink the stem and the leaves in the green, and then I can ink up the remainder of the stamp with purple, just like so. Then you're going to need to make sure that you fold out the material. You can see we've got a slight crease in here already, so that gives us a perfect guide, and then we can just press the stamp down and there we have it. And now I'm going to go ahead and do the others. So you can see that I've now stamped out the image on the front and the back side. So when it's turned over and it's all going to be stitched, they're going to be in the perfect position. So what I'm going to need to do now is make sure that I turn it inside out, and now I can start to sew everything together. So I'm just going to be using a running stitch for this particular project. So I'm going to start off slowly and make sure I back stitch and then continue all the way through. And when I'm getting to the end, I'm going to make sure I back stitch again. And now I can do exactly the same on the other sides, just making sure that it lines up again. Oh, I've pulled the fabric a little bit there. So again, just making sure that the thread is to the back, run in stitch again, back stitch, and then continue all the way through. And back stitch again. Now when it comes to stitching the top together, you want to make sure that you leave a gap so then we can obviously fill in the lavender leaves. Now the other thing you might want to do is you might want to put a little ribbon so then it can be hung. Now being a paper crafter, like I said before, I have boxes and boxes of ribbons. I was a real passionate person for texture and things in my crafting projects. So there are a number of different ribbons that I could actually use to finish off this project, but I really want to go with this green gingham. Now the other thing is that if you didn't just want to have ribbon to hang up your item like we've done for the rose one in this one, you could also stitch ribbon around the outside. It just adds another really simple detail, and I have to say these were really easy even for me to do, and being a novice that's really nice to be able to use your own creativity and just add things and try them. So I'm going to take a little piece of this gingham and I'm going to cut off the amount that I need. So just to make it easier, not only did I cut off the amount that I wanted, but I've also sewn it together so I don't need to be holding it together when I'm trying to place it inside the little sachet. So again, making sure that you've got this the wrong way round. You want to pop the little loop of ribbon with the loop facing downwards, and you want to place that approximately in the middle, so that when you've put this the right way round, you're going to actually have the loop like so. So with the loop facing downwards, we're going to stitch just before the loop, again making sure that we're going to back stitch as well, and make sure that the thread is behind. All the way across, and back stitching again. So we've now stitched it all into place, but we've left enough room to be able to fill. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this all the right way round. So as you can see, I've now put this the right way round, and I just think these are really cute. They're so easy to make. Like I said, even I can make them. So and it's going to make a fabulous little present for somebody. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my funnel, which I'm going to pop into the end here, and I'm going to fill it with my lavender flowers. So to finish off your little sachet, all you need to do is then hand stitch the end, and job done. And I'm sure you'll agree, they are just so cute. Really, really good little presents, and they smell absolutely divine. I love them. So again, if you just wanted to make the rose one, you'd do exactly the same, but use the rose rubber stamp and then fill with rose petals. You could obviously use any kind of scented flowers or anything that you wanted to. And if you really wanted to, you could also make little bath sachets using this kind of material, but I wouldn't recommend stamping unless you stamp with a permanent ink that's not going to run in the bath. But fantastic little presents, and I can't wait to give them to some people. So thanks very much for watching, and I can't wait to be able to share my next project with you. So bye for now.